would not work for them. So just like you can see this assignment, we are given a scenario. They are telling us that it's been headhunted by management of the university teaching hospital as the best candidate in the provision of consultancy services in relation to electronic communication. The hospital serves the surrounding villages as part of their corporate social responsibility, and it's intending to automate its operations. So the key processes have been highlighted, meaning these are the same things we expect the system to be able to address. For instance, telling us that the patient starts by, when they enter the hospital, they start with going to the receptionist who captures their bio information. Okay, so meaning the system should be able to do the same as well. Then from there, the patient is sent to the nursing assistant who records the weight, who captures, who takes maybe some measurements such as weight, blood pressure, height, temperature, and so on. So meaning, I would also expect that in such a system, we are able to get all the processes that are taking place and then automate so that the same things can be done electronically. Moving on, they are telling us that then the file is forwarded to the doctor on duty, who carries out cross-examination to investigate what the patient is suffering from. So meaning, the way we're able to take a physical file, we expect that once a patient, for example, is sent to, let's say, go to room number 5, that means the doctor is able to just search the system, maybe just asks the patient who their name is and when they reported, and then searches by name and the date of reporting, or maybe by patient ID. So they don't have to again carry the file. Whosoever is, wherever they are, in which office they are, be able to access the patient's information. Though it is, for example, when you look at the universities, the ARMS system, when you look at the universities, the ODL system, and all other platforms, whichever office you go to, they're able to access everything about you by just maybe mentioning either your name or your social number. So I expect that maybe something similar to that is done. Moving on. If there are any need to refer the patient for the tests, the doctor recommends and sends the patient to the lab where the technician does all the tests that have been recommended. And then afterwards, the patient sent back to the doctor for further action based on the results of the test. So, and so just like you can see, we are automating all the operations of the hospital.
Yes.
Then moving on, if I may skip that, I guess you've been able to read through it already. Using any tools of your choice, meaning you are free to use any tool, any technology that you think it will be able to implement this. Maybe somebody can even say that I'm just I'm going to come up with a mobile application, maybe using Android Studio. Okay. Some can say that I'm going to use maybe Visual Basic, that I'm going to use maybe PHP and HTML, anything. So feel free to use any technology at your disposal. So they're telling us that we are free to use any tool of our choice to implement the system and automate the above processes into a working solution. And they're asking us to incorporate other features, such as, for example, in case I want to book, for example, maybe I went to the hospital sometime back, or I've never gone there, but I want to book, I want to make an appointment with the doctor. So that by the time I get there, I don't have to go through the long process of queuing up. So they're asking us to make sure that the system has provisions such as booking and appointment, keeping track of, for example, if somebody was here last year, are we able to track, okay, to see the different medications that we've been administering to this patient, the progress, whether there's any improvement, and so on. So that's what it's requiring us to do. Then other features relevant in implementing this system in health, meaning besides or beyond what has been mentioned, you can as well think of what else can be incorporated within this tool, within this solution. Okay. And then any good system, just like if you've ever gone to, for example, those supermarkets that are around town, or even those other businesses which are not supermarkets, even institutions, some of you, in case you are working wherever you're working and you have maybe electronic systems, that a good system is able to generate reports. For example, that university is able to know who has paid what, when, how much do we have in total in arrears, okay? How have we been performing in terms of admission, enrollment? So the system is able to give any information, to give reports on anything, okay? The dropout rates, for example, assuming it's a school system, the admission rate, the completion rate, meaning you can even be able, in such a case, we're able to see which sicknesses do most people suffer from, okay? Which sicknesses have always been, most of the patients, what are some of the issues that they have been raising, okay? How have we been treating such illnesses, okay? So reports on each and every activity that takes place in the hospital. So that's how a good system should be. It should be able to produce reports. So meaning I expect as well that, for example, if you're asked to show the patients who came here last week, maybe on a specific day, you're able to produce the report showing the patient name, for example, the ailment, the treatment that was administered, and all other information. Okay, the drugs that have been procured, how much drugs do we have, when were they procured, their serial numbers, expiry date, which drugs have expired, and so on. It's a good system able to do all that. Now, having looked at that, yes, I can now say that the numbers have grown. I'm now having 8 members. So if you have just joined, I have been trying to analyze or to go through or to break down the assignment in as far as what it is required of us. And at the beginning, I started by registering my disappointment in this class specifically. Most of the times I come online, no one is there. Even when I was physical, I would hardly find people to teach. Not until William called some of you to join for today's session. So now that I'm done digesting the question, you'll be, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to engage with the exam coordinator to ensure that we schedule the exam date on the timetable as per my request, as it is on the question paper. Either it will be on that specific date, or I might discuss with her and maybe we adjust slightly. But it will be within my mandate to dictate when it will be done. Now, just like I said, you find that there are so many technologies that can be used, just like I mentioned earlier on, that someone can, for example, say that I'm going to come up with a mobile application which is going to solve this challenge at hand. Okay, that is welcome. Another person can say like me, for my case, I'm going to come up with a web-based, okay? Meaning they are going to use web-based technologies. So within those web-based technologies, I'm sure that different individuals have different approaches or different thinking on how they are going to attempt, okay? So, gentlemen and ladies, I've already mentioned some of the tools which an individual can choose from. For example, I've talked about PHP. Fortunately, we've already gone through structured programming, systems programming, most likely database programming, meaning you have all those at your exposure already. Then, in fact, also, since with web-based, it might require web-based technologies such as, for example, MyHTML, CSS, Dreamweaver, name it, okay? Fortunately, you've already looked at website design and development. That is in the previous semester. There are other technologies as well. Of course, for database, you've already looked at database as a course unit, because any system must be having a database at the back end. Then there are other technologies such as, for example, Joomla. Okay. In case you feel, I would first of all request that you use something that you are familiar with, or something, even if you're not familiar with it, but as long as you feel that you can cope fast with it. So in other words, I'll request that you will first of all carry out a feasibility study to be sure of how feasible the different approaches you are going to use are. Going on, I was talking about the different technologies. I've talked about Joomla. It's one of the technologies that you can use. For Joomla, it's a content management system. Okay, it is a framework which helps you to build using a skeleton. There are others. We have, for example, Drupal. Okay, it's another content management system. We have WordPress. It's a content management system. Then we have other technologies, for example, Wix. Okay. Then, of course, I know that some people raise concerns such as I've been having these challenges. I've not been able to make it to the gates of the university. Therefore, I have nothing. I have no progress at all. I was not able to do the work. In this era, in this current post-COVID industrial revolution, such an excuse is very stupid. Okay, what do I mean? Right now, I'm not at the university physically. I'm at home, just like many of you could be home as well, given the weather. Many of you could even be in your bedrooms. Okay, actually, personally, I'm in my bedroom. So, but I'm able to meet you. So I would expect that such is not an excuse that I have no card. Like people were telling me somewhere, I think it was last week, there's a class that I gave an assignment and people are giving such excuses of not having paid tuition. So amongst the technologies, for example, I talked about Wix. There are other options which allow for developing the system online when it is hosted. Okay, when you are developing it online, meaning, for example, we have amongst the technologies, we have HostGator. That is a premium solution. Meaning, once from the time you start developing your system, it is instant, it is online, it is accessible by the world. in real time. However, you can control who to access by either making it published or making it not unpublished, so that whichever is unpublished, it's only the developer that are able to access. This one leads us to somebody would wonder that when, for example, if I'm developing a website or any other solution, how does it work? What next after developing it, assuming it's maybe hosted locally or whichever it is? I just give an example of HostGator. I'm heading there. Sometimes I prefer being practical in what I'm talking about. I don't know if yours has come. Okay, it's coming. When you look at this, there are so many hosting providers. Okay. When you look at this, they have different plans. I'm not saying that it's what you should use. I'm going to talk about different approaches and different possibilities. So, meaning, for example, they're telling us that they have the cheapest plan, $2.75 per month. This is called hatching plan, actually. They have, I think, about 4 or 3 plans. Once you select a plan, okay? Once you select a plan, all other technologies, you find them online. For example, the software, everything, you just do your system from, as long as you have internet, from wherever you are using your internet and your computer, and everything is hosted instantly as long as you've paid. Even the installation is available online using your account that you'll be given by HostGator. For example, they're talking about WordPress here on this screen, okay? Pick your perfect web hosting plan. We got them all, okay? So look at this, meaning once I subscribe, first of all, it's a drag and drop environment whereby I don't have to be knowing so much of programming. Actually, it's the trend nowadays. We are running out from such ancient technologies of using code to develop systems. Okay. So everything is embedded. Once I subscribe using, for example, this plan of about $5.95. Okay. Everything is just give you an account and everything is just there. Just work around with whichever you have been given, and you find that it is very easy to develop a system. Now, we have others. We have Wix. Okay. Let me look it up. With Wix, it's another platform for creating systems. And for it, it has both premium and free account. Okay. Of course, the cheaper it is, that means I even giving. For example, just like we looked at HostGator having an account that is cheaper than they have. I think I saw they had about, is it 4 plans? Having different ratings, okay, or prices. So the features you want in the system, for example, security, we have what we call search engine optimization, whereby when somebody types, for example, the word Ndeje, the system can easily put you first on top, can rank the results on top, okay? And so many other security certificates and so many other features. So meaning, depending on the plan you choose, you'll be given different features. So with the Wix, it allows for both free and then premium. With the free, that means you're able to, among other things, of course, with the, for example, Wix with HostGator, on that cost, they give you, there is a provision for giving you the domain name. For example, www.ndegeuniversity.ac.ug. So ndegeuniversity.ac.ug is a domain name, meaning it's part of what you've paid. Then domain registration. Okay, so based on the plan you have selected, it comes with different options on the package. Okay, so gentlemen, I was talking about, gentlemen and ladies are talking about I was talking about Wix. With Wix, it allows for both premium and free, whereby I can host my everything online free of charge. I develop everything from online, from scratch, free of charge. One of the challenges is that, first of all, they give you limited features. Secondly, the domain name, it is not personalized. Okay. For example, it can be called, for example, someone@wix.com, meaning it is reflected that it is Wix managing your account. But in case you want to personalize, the way you see, for example, for the university's case, imagine a whole university having a domain name, Ndege University at Wix or .wix.com. Okay, that's why it's always important to pay so that you customize and personalize and fully own up everything. But for purposes of doing this as a project, we can choose even to go with the free option. What does this mean? It means that you have no excuse whatsoever for not having paid tuition as being the reason for not being able to do the assignment. Actually, like I said before, such is a stupid excuse that because I don't have a card, actually sometimes, especially like Zoom, whether you paid tuition or not, much as I'm not encouraging you not to pay, but why there is a window, please use that window. Okay, use the window of opportunity to do what is required of you. Now that I'm done with giving you the options, some of the options, not all. I talked about VB and others, MySQL, MySQL Server, okay? All those are different technologies that can be used. You are free to use anything that you want. Now, going on, if I may take an example, I saw what did I see on HostGator? On HostGator, let me see what they have. Among other things, they have WordPress as a tool, as a content management system. Okay, so let's try out to see the installation process. WordPress, first of all, for us to get it, we need to go to its website, which is wordpress.org. Once you get there, we can this is a free installation. WordPress is a free installation. We can download freely from from the website. It is open source. Okay, developed by the WordPress community. So we have the link here on the extreme right, get WordPress. So I'm able to get the latest version of WordPress from this link. Of course, they have other features, other tools, other solutions that we can use just in case. For example, they have plugins. I've not talked about plugins yet, and they have themes. All these are tools that are meant to simplify your work, to make your life simple. For example, instead of having to use the CSS, the cascading style sheets, I can just choose a framework, a theme, which theme doesn't take even a minute to install. Just click on it and it's uploaded, just activate it. Okay? So you'll find that I'm saving myself the effort and the energy of having to go through so much hassle. That's with themes. Then plugins. For a plugin, just like when you look at somebody can buy a car in its basic shape, okay, but keeps adding components which may not necessarily be there. For example, you can add a TV, you can add a radio, you can add different tools, different components. Okay, you can even extend that area where they put cargo. I'm forgetting how it's called. Okay, you can even extend its body. So similarly, we're able to add plugins, some of which we can even get free of charge. For example, there's a site called Theme Forest. Just like it suggests, Theme Forest, meaning there are so many themes depending on what you want to do. Assuming I'm going to develop a system for, let's say, tourism. There are templates which can easily reflect tourism, which also have even pictures to do with tourism. If it's to do with health, there are templates which can reflect and bring out health very easily in no time. Okay, if I'm to do with education, I can easily pick pictures. That template can give you or a design which can reflect. There, for example, you see arms, that the pictures which are on arms. Okay, so you find that somebody came up with such a template, such a theme, so that in case you want to do something similar to that, to do with education, okay, in just a click of a button, you have a framework that is fully designed. Moving on, plugins, I think I've talked about them as well. I've talked about the different sources. For example, I've talked about Theme Forest. Some of the themes are free on because there are so many service providers, there are so many sources on the internet for themes and plugins. Some are free, others are premium. Okay. We have, if you could go to, there's a site called divi.com. Divi has themes. Actually, it's one of the best themes I've liked. Though for it is premium, it's not free. Okay. But you find that once you get those themes and the plugins in just a few clicks, you have a comprehensive and robust system in real time, in no time, without having to hassle. So, having downloaded my theme, my WordPress software, the next step is to start the installation. I'm not saying that it's what you should use. Feel free, I repeat, feel free to use any solution that you want. By the way, you were taught HTML and in web development, not because it's the best. Just like you are told, you were taught how to, just like you were taught the use of my HTML, my SQL console using this black screen, that's the console, okay? But it doesn't mean that since you were taught how to use the console, it doesn't mean that it's what you should always use. Why you were taught that is because you have to first get the basics, okay? But you don't have to always use the hard, to go through the hard way, okay? So I can as well use the easy way, especially when you go to the industry outside the class. You should always look out for the simplest approach to whichever you want to do, because there is no time to waste in coding. We are in a world that is dynamic with changing requirements every day. So we don't have to keep ourselves locked into the bondage of slavery, that we have to always be using the hard way of coding. Therefore, gentlemen and ladies, I'm going to start the installation of WordPress. So I'll start I'll start by downloading the setup, which I've already done for myself. I have it. I don't have the latest. It's quite old. I don't know what the latest is of late. So I'm opening my SQL first. Like I said, you can either use the console or the phpMyAdmin. So let me use phpMyAdmin. Okay, let me use the console, which is not taking long to open. This one is taking forever. Create database. Oh, this is password, sorry. So create database student. Let me call it class. So meaning we start by, first of all, we need a database. We shall start by creating a database. That's if we have if you have any web server, such as WAMP, such as MAMP, such as XAMPP, any web server you have, especially if it's locally hosted. So I've created my database. I'm done with this. Okay. Now that I'm done with this, the next step is I'll go to phpMyAdmin again. Not phpMyAdmin, I'll go to the www directory. That's if I'm using WAMP. Okay. And then create a folder for my project. Meaning each project is a new installation. So let me create a folder called class. Oh, there's one here. There's one here. I don't know if it's not for another. Anyway, let me delete it. Maybe it could be for a project that I worked on some time back. So I have deleted that project, but I'm very sure my database is still there. Okay, So let me create another folder called class. After creating this folder, the next step is I'll go to my installation setup. That is the zipped file of WordPress, assuming it's downloaded. I have mine somewhere on my computer. It's quite old. It's 4.9.8 version, which is about 2 years old. So I'm going to extract everything here. I'm going to select everything and then drag into the www directory stroke the folder I've created. So let me look it up. Yes, here it is. It's called class. So I'm dragging the contents of WordPress into the folder called class. By selecting all, that's Control A. So now I'm extracting them into the project folder. Then, having extracted, yes, it's done. So we shall go back either through the browser and then call the path we have used. Okay, that's localhost/class. Okay, in case I want to use the what? The browser. I can just go to localhost and then call the folder that I want to use. Alternatively, of course, you can go to MySQL to WAMP. Actually, let's go. Yes, this one has already come. Let me not go there. Actually, let me go there so that people can know what I'm talking about. Let me close this much as it had come. Let me close it. So we can as well use, but I'm sure you people have already used the one before, so whichever I'm talking about, you know already. So I'm going to go to localhost here. Once we go to localhost, we are going to be taken to WAMP environment where we can see the projects that exist. So amongst the project, I have one called class. Okay. This is where my interest is. I don't know why the link is not active, but it should be. Anyway, let me just come here. Okay. Let me put the extension /class. So I'll be taken to the same destination I was. Yes, same destination. So they're asking me to select the language. I will go by the default, which is English, US, and then continue. So they are welcoming me to WordPress, and then they are telling me that before I can get started, I should have the following with me. That is database name, which I have created and called class. Okay. Me, I didn't have to wait. I had, because I knew it would be required. So I began by creating it. So it's ready with me. Then the database username. Once you are using MySQL, usually it comes with default name. It comes with a username, which is root. Okay. And then password, it has no password. Unless if you put, but if you didn't put, it usually it's empty. But some people do put database passwords. Then the host, my host is localhost. So I already have all that information handy with me. So I'm going to click on let's go so that I can get started with the installation. I really don't know if I'm making some sense in what I'm doing, or whether I'm doing is relevant, or is what I'm doing relevant, you people?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me first check the message. Some people have posted some messages in the chat. Okay, fine. So, gentlemen and ladies, once I clicked on let's go, they're asking me to provide the database that I'm going to use for my system. Okay. My database name, who can remind me if you have been following, what was my database name?
Class.
Class. Then somebody is asking, that is Andre, how do you attach MySQL to WordPress? I'll ask an individual to answer that question. Who will answer that question? Can Arthur answer that question?
I think the WordPress automatically uses the SQL database.
Okay. It will automatically detect and connect to MySQL. Have I answered you, Andre? Because here they're asking me for the database name, okay? And I'm using WAMP. Everything is within WAMP as my web server, okay? So within WAMP, there is MySQL, and then within the same WAMP, that's where I've created my project, okay? So that's why the connection is. So they're asking me for my username, and I'm providing the username as, sorry, the database name. I did this one with you in your watch, and the database I created, I gave it the name as class. You saw me doing so. The username, what's the username? Members?
It's root.
It's root. Okay, yes, you are following, I can see. And the password?
Password is not assigned.
Okay. Then the host is?
Localhost.
Okay, so I'm submitting. All right, Sparkly. So you've made it through this part of the installation. So they are going now to communicate with the database. WordPress can now communicate with the database. That's what I'm being told, that now there's a communication, there's a connection. So I'm now clicking on run the installation. Yes, they're asking me for the site title. For the site title, ladies and gentlemen, that's the name of the site. For example, for mine, I'm going to call it Ndeje University Health Center. Okay, that's my site title. Now that I'm done giving my site title, you can now provide the username. For the username here, gentlemen and ladies, this is the admin username for you to log into the system. Which username do you want to use? Okay. Which should be confidential, of course, and the password should be confidential whenever you are to log in. What credentials are you going to use to log into the back end of the system as an admin? Okay. Then I'm going to maintain whichever I have there. Password. Let me call it, let me use a simple one actually for both username and password. Let me call it admin. But I'm not saying that it's what you should always use. For serious systems, you can use any username you want. Just like you saw, I had a different username for mine. Okay, I'm just doing this for the sake of it. So for the password, let me use the same, admin. Just for the sake of it, for learning purposes, it's weak. It's very weak actually. Okay. However, I don't, first of all, I'm doing for purposes of learning. It's not even going to be hosted, meaning no one is going to hack into it, okay, and break into the system. So I'm going to confirm, yes, I know it's weak, but I'm okay with it. Okay. So I've confirmed the use of a weak password, that yes, it is okay. I don't care. So email, for the email address, this is the email address that will be used by the system. For example, in case there is need for the users to send messages, the way you send messages to, for example, to Ndejo University, in case there's a form where users are expected to fill in their information and send it to us. Okay, that's number one. Secondly, how about in case somebody, for example, forgets the password and they want to reset? Okay, so this is, you provide the email that will be used for administrative purposes. Let me put 1. It could be any email, whether Gmail, whether Yahoo, whether any email, whether attached to the university, to the organizational domain, doesn't matter. Okay. Then we have search. Do you want your system to be accessible, to be visible by the search engine? For example, once I type Ndejo University and click on search, I will get results. Okay. But there are certain systems which cannot be searched, to which the search engine will not see. So if for example, the system a bank uses to manage our money, our records, maybe it's an online something for the bank. Okay. If there is no need for the search engine to see it, as long as I know, for example, the link, that is all. So it's in a way helping. It's another layer of security. But there are also those systems whereby you want the users, people to access from wherever they are, and you want it to be visible. So it depends on what the system is doing and the relevance of making it either visible or not visible. So now that I'm done, I'll click on install WordPress. Okay. So like I was saying, that it allows for visibility in the browser, by the search engine when it is being searched. I'm now taken to the home page, to the login page. Now that I'm done installation, WordPress has been installed. They're telling me to enjoy. My username, like you people saw me doing, if I want to log into my system, my username is admin, and the password is the password that I chose to use. For me to access this system, I'll click on login and provide my username, which is admin, and then the password was also admin. I'm now in, just like you can see here, back to the Universal Health Center. In case I don't want to log in, for example, in case I'm a normal user, I may not need to log in. Okay, that's why you are seeing that link. That's why you are seeing that option, so that you can just access the front end of the system, not the back end. Login is for the back end. The front end, it is open. So I'm now on the dashboard of my system. And on my dashboard, actually the latest version is 5.93. Yes, this one I downloaded it 2 years ago. It is quite old. I would advise that you go with the latest. Maybe I can update. I can just update now. Let me update actually. As I'm moving on, as I'm updating, I hope I will be able to, oh, it's a long story. But it's still, anyway, it's downloading. So meanwhile, as I'm updating, there are a number of things that we can look at on the dashboard. For example, we can begin by seeing the site. Remember, on the login, there was the option of going to the site directly. But even right now, I can go to my site, which is called Ndege Universal Health Center, and see how it looks like. Okay, I've clicked on visit site. So it's as plain as you can see. Ndege University Health Center. Okay. I want to go back to the back end of the system. Okay. What you do to go, actually, let me create another tab here. I will copy this link to have both tabs open. I will paste it here. If I just press enter, of course, I'll be taken back to the same front page, front end, but to be in the back of, but of course, still in the front end. Since I'm logged in as the admin, I can still be able to edit. Okay, for example, I can see the dashboard, and on my dashboard, I have themes, widgets, menus. Okay, let me click on dashboard. Yes, I'm taken back to the previous screen. Okay, we have new options. For example, I can create a new post, a new media, a new page. So creating a page doesn't even take a minute. Okay, just click. I can even create a new user. Since you're going to work in groups, meaning in case the system is hosted online, you can have different users with their accounts created. As simple as that. post. What do you mean by post? Actually, whichever we have here, we can as well have it on the extreme left here. If I want to create a post, I can as well go to post and then select all posts. To see the existing posts, I can add a new post. I can look at the categories for my posts. What are posts? The difference between post and page is, for example, look at the university. We have pages such as home, about us, contact us, admissions, application, etc., faculties. Those are pages. Okay. Again, look at New Vision. It has the pages, but it keeps sending updates which are not on specific pages. Look at Nile Post. Okay. Nile Post, they keep even NBS, MTV, other media houses you can think of. They keep sending updates, not necessarily on a page, the way you see, for example, home, contact us, about us, etc. Okay, but they keep sending updates. So for such updates, they use posts, not pages. Because you can never, just imagine a news company, a media company, using pages for updates, for news events, okay? How many pages will they have? It will be crowded and they'll have no space, no room, okay, to put pages. Then we have some other things I talked about too. Within appearance, we have appearance, and on appearance, we can create themes. We can work with themes. A theme is a layout. We have within appearance, before I clicked on themes, within appearance, we have themes, we have menus, meaning to create a menu, you don't have to go through too much. Okay. Some villagers having their microphone on. I think it is Castle John Mary. Let me mute him. We have within appearance, you can create themes. We have widgets. We have menus. We can create headers, section of the document of the site. Okay, among others. We look at themes, ladies and gentlemen. Since my version is old, even my themes are old as well, but I am sure new versions of WordPress have newer themes, maybe even better themes. So I have a theme called 2017, which is the active theme with a pot and some flowers in the pot. I have another one called 2015. You can see how it looks like. Okay, this one here, where my cursor is right now, it's called 2015. They are showing you how your page is going to look like, the layout, the skeleton of your page. Okay, meaning in such a theme called 2015, I have the main picture here somewhere. I have some area for putting text with a title. Then I have the menu is on the extreme right top of the screen. And then I have something here, just like you can see on the screen. Then I have another one called 2016. I have the heading somewhere with some intro text, then a picture will follow next. I have a menu on top right, okay? Then I have other areas here and other links, okay? So they are showing me how, meaning I don't have to use so much of coding, going through CSS, okay, etc. Everything is just laid out the way I want. But there are others which can be premium, which you can download, okay. I can search for themes, I can add themes, I can even connect online themes elsewhere from wherever they are, okay. In case I want, for example, this one 2016, I can either live preview, look at how it will look like by clicking on live preview even before activating it, okay. Or yes, this is how it's going to be. This is how my, just like you saw in the preview, okay. In the previous picture, before clicking on preview, we had the okay, site identity, for example. I clicked on site identity. Within the theme I selected, okay, it makes my work very simple. For example, I can change, I have the option for changing, for selecting a logo. I'll just go click on select logo. Then it will take me through the process of uploading the logo on my system, okay. I want to say to change the title, it is just typing, okay. I have site tagline. You look at tagline, it's reading just another WordPress site. When I go back to my system here, okay, you can see in the university, just another WordPress site. If I want to change this, actually, let me reload to see the new theme that has been uploaded. Yes, it has now changed, okay. So if I'm to change this text, maybe giving health first priority, or let me call it your health,
Okay.
our priority, okay. So once I click on publish, the site will automatically get updated, just like you can see in the preview here. So whichever you do, it changes instantly there and then, okay. So site icon, everything is just pick, you just click on something and it happens there and then in real time, based on the theme you have used. By the different themes have different ways of doing it, and they come with different simplicity, different levels of simplicity. Just like you can see in this theme called 2016, which I've published. Whichever I want to work with, whichever I want to edit, I just click on what I want, and then, so for example, for the tagline, I've changed it. Yes, it's here, your health, our priority. If I want to put a site logo, I just click.
Okay.
Then I'll be asked to drop the file or select a file from wherever it is. Let me try looking for the file. If I can get a picture. Let me try looking for a picture somewhere, if I have one. I really don't know if I have one. So you've been seeing that pictures have captions. So unlike the hardware you people have been doing it, for example, if you want to attach a URL on the picture, it is very simple. You want to give it a title, it's very simple. A caption, alternate text, description, so that when someone is clicking on the picture, he's able to, for example, if it's taking long to load, we shall see the alternate text displayed. Okay, its description as well can be made available so that when somebody clicks, it is described. We're able to see what the picture is all about. So I'm selecting select picture. I have the option of cropping the picture in case I want to crop it to remove unnecessary parts. Okay. So just simple playing around with the picture. I think this one is too much. It's quite huge, but if I feel okay with it, I can maintain it the way it is. So in other words, everything is just a walkover. So once I go to my main page here and try to reload, I expect that it has a picture somewhere, but I think it's not well located the way I might be interested in seeing it. However, you can resize the picture. This picture I think was too big. Okay, it had wide big dimensions. Secondly, also the layout of the page can be the theme you have used can dictate the position of your picture based on the theme you have selected. How do you install a theme? It's another question. Okay, to install a theme, gentlemen and ladies, themes and plugins. When you go to, let me first close this. When you go to appearance, stroke themes, you can add new themes. Okay, you can add new themes. Once you click on add new theme, you can either search for them from the internet, actually specifically from wordpress.org. Okay, we have featured themes, popular themes, latest themes, favorites, etc. For example, in case, just like you can see on the screen, what we are seeing, in case there's one that I feel will work for me, based on what the system is going to be doing, okay, I can just pick it up and then have it selected for, let me choose this one here. Install. Okay, you can see how simple it is. You get a layout pre-designed for you. Okay. Then you just work with what has been, this one is actually even better than the other one I was using. There's a way it has organized it has organized the layout very well. So it's now up to me to assemble different components the way I want and then work with it. Then the same thing applies for plugins. For example, in case you want to what people always do, you find that maybe you want to create a form for the users to fill in or to provide some information. For example, look at sign up or register form for the customers to register, or any other form, not necessarily to register. Okay, you've been using HTML to type and code. You have to waste out of time. Input type equals text, name equals this equals this, etc. Okay, but with the plugins, amongst the plugins, for example, there's one called Contact Form 7. So in other words, whichever you want, just look out for a plugin which can do it. Okay. So contact form 7 allows us to create a form. So you just select the fields you want to include. Of course, it gives you the default layout. In case there are fields which have been given and you don't need them, it's just a matter of just removing them. Then add those that you want to add. Okay. I think I've over-talked alone. It is kind of boring. I might even be boring people, wasting people's time. So let me get feedback from the class. You are now free to speak and say whichever you want to say out of what I've just gone through.
Thank you,
Members.
sir. Thank you, sir. This is Abdallah. I would like to seek clarification about adding an image. For example, I have an image working.
You are breaking. I'm not
Want to
speaking.
resize it. How to resize that image?
Okay. First of all, Abdallah, it is always important that you don't get a raw image from the camera. Okay? Because if you've been very keen, the 5 MBs or even more than that. But when you edit this image using any graphic software, sometimes it tends to compress. Instead of having, let's say, 5 or 10 MBs or 3 MBs, it can come up into KBs. So in such, sometimes if you've been very keen, you find that you visit a system, but when you click on something, it takes forever to load. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. A customer will not be patient to wait for that much time. One of the reasons is because the pictures, maybe all the graphics they used is quite heavy and it's taking a lot of time to load. So I would advise that first of all, much as you saw that I was able to crop, but don't over rely on cropping using the system. I would advise that first edit your picture outside of this platform, and then you come with a ready picture. Because imagine, for example, you're going to have, let's say, 50 pictures or more. Look at, for example, the university website. You find that there are hundreds of pictures. Imagine each picture is about 10 MBs plus. Remember, sometimes based on the plan you are going to adopt. We talked about when I went to HostGator, we had different plans. For example, there's hatching plan, a baby plan, etc. Okay. Then each plan you are given how much space, how much disk space to use. So meaning if you have your photos taking a lot of space, that means you're going to limit yourself on how much you can have.
Hello, anyone there?
We are here, Mr. Arthur, but I think Mr. Cowley lost
His
connection.
connection. So, Abdullah, what I wanted to tell you, the format of the
Members, before I lost connection, I was trying to show you how somebody asked how to insert images. I said we begin by going to media. Within media, we have library. Okay. So when we look at my library here, I was able to insert a logo. You saw it. You saw me doing so. It's here in the library. So whichever you want to be part of your system must be in the library, because whichever is in the library is going to the folder we created called the class, which is the project folder. Okay. So I want to insert a new picture. I'll do the same thing. I'll go to media, then add the new. Okay. Even when you go to library, within the library, we have the option for add the new here as well. So you'll be taken through importing the picture. But I said it's actually just like as I was trying to, while my volume was down, as I was trying to emphasize that it's better you first do what? Yes, you first edit. Okay. Because different, if you use your camera and you bring a raw picture, it will come when it's big, when it's heavy already. Okay. But if you work it out before bringing it, it's light. Okay. So that it should not occupy a lot of space to make the system heavy. It should be, but you can even have, just like I was saying, that you can have the same picture in another format where assuming it was, let's say 3 MBs. It can even end up being, let's say 10 kilobytes, but the same quality. Okay. So I'll click on add the new, and then the picture will be able to come. Now, if I want to add a page, I'm just going to pages, then add the new page. I give it a name. For example, I can call it what? Maybe home, whichever name I want to give it. I'll type whichever text I want to type on this page. Typing is very easy, ladies and gentlemen. If I have my text somewhere, I can even just go copy and then paste. Okay. Let me look out for some text somewhere. Let me copy this. Paste it here. If I want to insert a picture, by the way, everything is just here. Now, for example, when you try to click on some of these options, we have, you've been seeing read more. Somebody would wonder, how do you insert read more? How do I create a read more link? Everything is just here. To insert a link, to format your text, etc., making it bold, italic, bullets, numbering, the way you've been doing in HTML, adding media, it's here. Just click on add media. Okay. Then you are taken to the media library to select which media you want to add. Right now I have just one picture, but if I add more, you'd see all the pictures here. Okay. Its properties are on the extreme right. Okay. So let me select this picture. It has come. what is which position do I want to put this picture? First of all, on this picture, we have options. I can do some basic editing, which I would not recommend. From what I've explained, I can do some formatting. Okay. I can change the alignment of the picture where I want it to be. Everything is just like you can see. You just click and then you move. I can resize by using these dots here. You can see me resizing it. Okay, how small or big should it be? In other words, you just play around with what? With what you have. Okay. Just like you can see, you want it to be on the left, on the right, in the center, where exactly? Okay. And it is some other things I will ask members to go and investigate. I can see there are some messages in the chat. John is saying, is there any site for system development where you are allowed to download your system after developing? I've talked about Wix. It is, I'm not sure, I've not tried to see if you can download, but in most systems, especially premium systems, okay, those paid for have the option for backing up, for downloading the project. Okay, they have such options. So if I want this page to be published, or after adding whichever I want to add, it may be text, maybe a picture, anything, creating links, etc, etc. Everything is just here on the page. So you can either publish it or save as a draft. Okay. We have page attributes, which I will ask members to investigate about. For example, when you go to, let me see. Let me first publish this anyway. Actually, when you look at this, before leaving this page, yes, there's we have featured picture. We have featured picture, we have parent attribute. Okay. When you go to, for example, New Vision or Jumia, there is that picture which is appearing on the main page. You find that there are so many pictures on that page, on that system, but there is one that was set to be featured picture. So you can select which picture out of the many we have is going to be featured picture. Okay. So featured picture appears on all the pages, regardless of which page you will be. It will be on the main page, it will be on the home page. Okay, regardless of, that's what it means. Then so I want this one to be the featured picture. Then we have parent. With the parent, for example, if I may go to, let me try Indege University website and see. Oh, did they change the link for Indege University? There's a problem with you people, your university website, there's a problem with your university website. Anyway, there's something I wanted to demonstrate here on parent or no parent. For example, if I had to click on, when you go to a system, there are links, for example, home, about us, etc. Once you click on about us, a sub menu comes, meaning about Us is the home, is the parent. Then and about us, we have our vision, our mission, contact, our contacts, etc. Okay, those are children. Those are what we could call sub-menus. Okay, so we have the main menu and then secondary. We have primary menu and then secondary navigation. So I will ask members, it's getting to 4 p.m. I'll ask members to go read more. I'm not saying that it's, if you feel this one is not of relevance to you, you can as well choose what you can zero down to. Okay. And then in case you feel that you have passion or interest in this one specifically, you can as well go to YouTube and look out for tutorials on using WordPress. If, for example, you want Joomla, you can go and look out for tutorials on using Joomla. If you want, let's say you want what? Drupal, you can as well go and look out for tutorials on using it. If you're going to use HTML, anything you want, if you're going to use Visual Basic, Android Studio, name it, you can as well go to YouTube or any other source, not necessarily YouTube. Okay, and look up for tutorials on using whichever you want. By the way, university learning, today I've been teaching, but we aren't supposed to teach. We aren't teachers. I just show you the direction, and then it's up to you to take it or not. Take that direction or not. Today is the 24th of April 2022. We have not very many days to the end of the semester. Exams are beginning 23rd May, I think around 23rd. So meaning we have about 3 weeks to the beginning of exams. What does it mean? At most, we are meeting twice, 2 more times from today, 2 more weekends. So our time is up. If you are still in slumberland, it's high time you woke up, okay? And you got serious with what is expected out of you. Members, what I can tell you is that last academic year when I was teaching this paper, some people presented and failed. So sometimes people think that since it's a project, not a written exam, passing is obvious and automatic. No. And out of the 3 people you're going to be in class, don't get surprised that you have different marks. Yes, I always do it. There's somebody in this class that was academic.
Yeah, I have a question before we end.
Okay, ask the question. This is who?
This is Arthur.
Yes.
The login or sign up. Login or sign up.
Yes, continue.
Function. Is it also available in WordPress?
But you told me logging in. Yes. It comes with a login, yes, area. It is there. If you are around,
okay.
But I'm not saying that you should zero down to this. I just picked a case study and then took you through, but you can use anything else you are more comfortable with. Anything else?
Mr. Kauri.
Yes.
Mrs. Abdallah, I think what Mr. Gava was trying to mean is like if we are looking at now, we're talking in terms of the hospital system. Like in how we do it in HTML, HTML has what we call forms, where you can put a text box for username and password. So he was asking whether we can still find such with the WordPress. But I think, like you said, we can explore more at our own convenience and find out.
Okay. But still, I talked about plugins. For example, just go to the internet right now, okay, and type in contact form 7. When you talk about creating text boxes and so on, okay, this is what I picked. Contact forms. What is this? What is it? It's a plugin. Okay. Let me see what they're talking about it. Actually, you can even, it's free of charge from WordPress. Okay. Read about what it is. What is the contact form 7? It's one of the most popular plugins for creating lead generating forms. You want to create a form, you don't have to code. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to stress yourself. Okay. You can just go install this, download this plugin, install it, activate it. Whenever you want to create anything to do with collecting data from your users, you just go and use this form. Okay. And there are so many other plugins which do different things. Meaning you can just go and ask even Dr. Google which plugin can be used to do this. Okay, they can tell you. There are those that are free, there are those that are premium. If it's free, you can download from the internet. If it's premium and you have your money, you can as well pay for it and then get it. So have I answered you? I don't know if I've answered you, right?
Yeah, it's very clear. It's a matter of using forms.
Okay.
Different ways.
Okay. Thank you.
So, this is William.
Yes, William.
What are some of the limitations of WordPress over the others, if they are those ones which are clear to us? Because I can see WordPress as something very, very easy to use. And then I'm asking myself, why should we always waste time on these harder ones when this one is just a click and then things are done?
But I can answer that.
Okay, answer.
William, yes. Mr. Kauli already said that it was important for people to know the basic foundation and the back end operations of these. Now that we know it's for implementation, for commercial use, you don't have to go coding in HTML, in CSS, PHP to get the same. But when you do it here, you know what's happening already in the background.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I had already talked about it. Actually, after I was very attentive, I was talking about it. Okay. But of course, I'll ask members to as well. Of course, each one of the tools you will find around there, since we have so many tools, some will ask that, why should I not use Dreamweaver, for example? Why should I not use Joomla? Or why should I use Joomla? I'll ask members to go and look out for reviews for each one of the different tools that we have, okay? So that you can yourself independently compare and contrast, look at the reviews, look at the good and the bad side of each and every tool that is available. Not only for WordPress, there are so many. I've talked about Joomla and I've used Joomla, okay? Somebody will say that, oh, I wish I knew that Joomla exists even before today. Why is that I'm just knowing about it today? Okay. Somebody will even not want to use what we have just looked at today. You're getting me? Somebody will say that me can't use anything other than a Drupal. You're getting me? So the best answer is you can as well do it independently. Go to internet and ask for reviews. They will give you the reviews. Different people will give you the experiences for the different technologies. Is that all?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Maybe something small. At times, the company or organization that needs a system, sometimes they specify the language that you should use. They can specifically say, we need WordPress, or we need Python or Java. Like last month, I had a colleague where we've been studying together. He attended some interview, but these guys wanted to see a skill in him for being able to use WordPress. So at times it depends on the user, what they need.
Very good. So just like Abdallah said, to cut him short, so those one specifically wanted WordPress. You find that somewhere else they want maybe VB, somewhere else they want something different. That's why at university you have, for example, some people, maybe you are doing Java this semester, the other semester you're doing something else, another semester something else, and not everything will actually be taught. And therefore, for that matter, it is incumbent upon you as a learner to equip yourself with as much skills as you can manage, as you think you need. So that in case you reach an environment whereby they need a specific skill, you have an idea. Okay, at the end of it all, it's used to shape your future, okay, around where you think will be able to shape your career. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So okay, so I think I'm ending the session now. I can leave the session running in case you want to continue using the platform. Do you want to continue using the link?
Some inquiries, sir.
Inquire.
You said in the project of 3 people, you will be reviewing the work every week, right?
Yes.
So, meaning next time we meet, you'd want to see the progress for each group.
Sometimes people are not serious at all. They are doing completely nothing. So I want each group to see that you are doing something, you are progressing.
Okay.
And sometimes I even say that today I'm going to give 5 marks out of what you've done. I'm going to look at what you've done and see how much you deserve. Then I keep comparing.
Yes, sir. So I've been moving around, sir, interacting with colleagues. There are some groups so far have something like 1 page or 2. Something is actually, at least something is there.
Okay.
A few groups have seen 1 or 2.
Okay, then that is okay. Okay, I think if that is all, do you want to continue with the link in as far as this class is concerned, or I end everything now?
You can end it, sir.
Okay, fine. So next week, from my side, I sign out, and therefore the session comes to an end.
We shall wait for the recording, yeah.
How do you want me to give it to you? Do you have a group, or whom should I say? Oh, should I give the recording? How can I get the link to you?
Via WhatsApp.
Then whoever is in charge should contact me so that I can.
I will personally, but anyone who has a question can contact me over this.
Okay, fine.
If you're anyone who needs further clarification and education.
I like
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Mr. Agawa.